Hello, YouTube. This is Fars Gaming. We are here to present you my brother, who goes by Corporatevenom, as you see on screen. That's also his Discord name. Who he participated on Stage Zero's free webcam event, and he managed to place top 16. And this, by the way, this is his third top 16 placement, and that's pretty good. There's 5 seasons, so five of them he placed free top 16, so that's pretty good. So we're gonna talk about a little bit his experience, what deck was he gonna play, because there was a little technical issue that happened, so we kind of scrubbed out in a way. But we're gonna talk about what happened, and we're gonna explain a little bit what deck was he gonna play in. So we're just gonna talk about a little bit, and also his experience in the tournament and what decks he played, and just a general thing, just to make conversation. We're gonna do this first, and this is gonna be first part of the video, and then we're gonna transition do a quick transition. Sorry, for the video of the profile. So we'll just start with that. So we're just gonna leave it to my brother. He goes by Corporatevenom, and let's go with that. So, talk about your experience event. How was it?
It was fine. It was a learning experience. Like I treated. So far, I learned a lot since I started in the tournament. I feel like I'm gotten a lot better since I started. Way better.
Oh, that's good, because this is a good learning experience for new players. We're not current new players. We've been playing this game since Sec 2, but it's just good to learning experience to do this. Obviously, because of COVID, this has helped us a lot. The webcam events. So since our locals are very far away, so this is just a good way for us to just meet new people and just testing out decks that we thought that we don't want to take to locals, or maybe not use in a regional, but just fun decks, but also some competitive decks. And so yeah, so it's good that we had a good experience with it. I managed to watch a couple of his games, and he played very well. His opponents were always nice. And the event ran very smoothly, what I saw in the streams. Sage Zero always does a great job with that. Seems like a great guy. So that's done. All right, so talk about the decks you played in this season. There was a season 5. And what was your favorite deck of all the decks you played?
So the very first deck on the start of the season I played was Samasu Wish. It's not a bad deck, but it's just simply it ran into the same issues as just any other multicolor / arrival decks. I get simply most of the time was clocking up with 10Ks or simply my opponent outgrinding me, and also unfavorable matchups. But the second deck I tried was Meki Kabura. That deck was fun.
Yeah,
I had a blast.
Yeah, that deck. Yeah, that deck is awesome.
Yeah. I used the same list. Both. I used it twice. Two tournaments in a row. 2 Sundays in a row. And I barely did any change on both occasions. The first time I literally grabbed it as my brother had it built. I literally just added the swap engine, and that's it. And the second time I literally just left it as it is. And this third deck I run was Dark Broly, and that was even more fun than the Meki Kabura. Because the problem with Meki Kabura, that you draw a lot with the balls, but after that, you get at least how I felt like I was getting diminishing returns, and also I ran into the problem of running into a lot of unfavorable matches, both using Dark Broly and Meki Kabura. My first rounds were blue decks, and I think we all know how those matchup goes with black decks and blue versus
Oh,
blue.
definitely yes. Black it's always had a bad match with blue. Just sensu being and untapping energy
Not
and all that stuff.
A lot of both decks. Rarely any cards have deflect, so God Sealing really hurts me on my choke points, which are a lot. But so with Dark Broly, the first time I used it same way as Mekigoro as how my brother had it built, no modifications on it, and it was mainly the only change. Originally, he had the 1-drops and the balls and the Toa that searches the ball. But then I think about a week before the tournament or something like that, he took them out and for other stuff. But it was mainly focusing just purely on having the max amount of 30Ks you can run on that deck, and that was basically it. It's just spamming 30Ks every turn.
If you haven't noticed, the deck we're talking about is Dark Broly the most. So now you know it's kind of a spoiler of which one we like the most.
The second time I used it, which was the most fun I had with the deck, is we saw a profile by DVX Uni, was it?
UniX DVS, yes.
And they showcased a skillless variant of the deck. We built it with the exception, basically we made net deck it, just with the exception that we did not have the Demigra Unisons in hand. But it was fun.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
That deck was gas from turn 1, because the first version I used, my turn 1s were super awkward. I did nothing, basically. Even when I went second, I did nothing. But with this version, my turn 1s are just 4 swings with 1 energy.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
That
was
was
just insane.
I loved it.
The only unfortunate part is that the first round was the meme deck.
No, that wasn't
the first round.
No. No, it was Vegito first.
Vegito.
Vegito. Which I due to it went, I think that one went to time. But I did a couple misplays and that cost me the game, essentially the game. But if I played a lot smaller and kept my head a cooler head, I probably would have prevailed probably. But yeah, that version, the skills version, is amazing. I loved it. I will run that deck the entire next format.
Oh yeah, that I believe that version of deck is very strong, especially with the current ban list that we have, the new one. A lot of the premier aggro decks were hurt very severely, so I feel like D Broly has a great matchup right now, especially that Ultimate Squad doesn't bring a lot of new blue decks, exception of Gamma, but I feel like D Broly has a great place in the format as a good rogue premier aggro deck, and even mid-range, but people should test for it and fear it, not let it pass by.
More like respect it.
Yeah, respect it. But yeah, that's about it. So you know that by the amount we talked about D Broly, we were going to do a profile of that deck post ban list, and we'll talk about the cards that he played in the tournament also. But we actually here we talked about a lot of D Broly, but that's not the deck we were gonna run for the tournament, for the top 16. We were gonna play U7 Goku, but unfortunately the top 16 was announced and he got first round bye, but then application they were using, the software, kicked him out, so basically he weren't to go forward on the round 2. We got it rectified. It's fine now. We're gonna go keep playing this event anyways, but unfortunately we couldn't destroy anybody with U7. I've been testing this deck since it came out, and me and my brother, and we went to locals, and I went I think second place on it. They never told me the standings, but I know I was
Pretty high.
4-1, so I know I was like second place. But the deck is fantastic. It's the best deck right now People should start practicing it. Obviously, the Ultimate Squad brings a lot of new decks, but U7 is going to be the most represented deck. So yeah. Just the closing thoughts on this part of the video. We're gonna head to the profile in a second. So the last question is Corporatevenom. What is the deck you're planning to play next format?
Well, it won't be just one deck.
Obviously, yeah, we're gonna test all decks, but the one that you want to play the most.
Toa,
the new Toa, that deck is a beast.
I like it whether it's utter trash or just jank. I love janky decks. I model myself after Peter Katani.
Yes.
He plays janky decks. I love janky.
Shout out to Katani. Good guy.
He's the reason I like running the decks I run. I like janky decks. I don't care. Do you like to run meta items?
Yes, I do. I'm a meta scrub. That's it.
But yeah, Toa's right now top of the list. Second place Gamma.
Yeah.
Third place is Meta Cooler.
Really? Meta Cooler?
Yeah.
Oh, your lord. Jank.
Yes.
More jank.
Yes.
The meme deck of the format.
Yes, I want to run the meme.
Oh.
And obviously Dark Broly. Keep playing around with Dark Broly. I had a prior to this tournament, I never touched Dark Broly before, and I regret ever not playing that deck earlier or playing the deck before it was nerfed. I played against it before it was errata then, but right now I'm loving it. In terms of like in a vacuum, right now it's my favorite deck in the game.
Yeah. Mine currently is obviously U7, but if I'm gonna play a deck, I think I'm gonna go with GT, Cooler, and Gamma. But the deck I really want to play is Cooler. That deck seems really fun, not oppressive, but really has a lot going for it. So I'm gonna be playing Cooler and still U7, but Cooler seems really fun right now. But yeah, so we're gonna end this part of the video, and we're gonna do a little quick transition and go to the next part.
A few moments later.
So here we are again. So we're gonna start profile. Generally, I've been the one testing a lot of the deck, but we wanted to use a little bit more meta for top 16. So we went for what we thought, and we still think is the best deck in the format right now, and best choice. Any best of one or pre-side or best of one or best of 3. It's just I feel like this deck has such a great matchup with everything on the board right now, especially before the ban list and post ban list. Just makes this deck a monster that you need to watch out for, and you will, because this deck will be the most represented deck. So we're just gonna start now with the deck.
So leader, obviously first 3, draw 1, discard 1, and if I have 7 or more, flip over. Grab any U7 from the drop area once per game and draw 1 in either optional mill. So we'll start with the obvious secret rare, no brainer, no explanation needed. For Goku, most profiles or lists I've seen run 3
or 2.
I personally prefer to run the maximum amount so I can see it. Especially, you never know how the mill RNG is gonna go for you, because you can either have whatever small amount. Let's say if you run into, you could risk having both of them in your live or milling both of them at once, and because you will want to have at least one in hand. And I feel like consistency of having 4, and plus it's not dead since it's a 0.5k. If I already have 1 in play and I feel like I don't want the second in hand, I could just combo it off.
It's actually a 1k, by the way.
No, it's never mind that. But yeah, either way, if I draw multiple copies, I'll just charge it. Either way, I prefer to see it. That's why
I was the one that made the deck this way. 4 is just the best number for that card. You need to see it. It's a monster of a card.
Turn 4, if you don't have SCR, it's probably the best thing you can do.
It depends on the situation, but also, generally you just pick you'll want to play the Goku. The Goku is such underrated card. People just don't understand how great a card. Yeah, it can be hit by a lot of decks right now, but it doesn't really matter. The card just stomped a lot of this decks right now.
Free for like the bread and butter good cards, for Frieza and free Vegeta. A lot of people run 4 mostly. I run 3 because he costs 2 energy, and a lot of people will try to play around this, so I rather play with Frieza more. Because from what I've seen and the little I play tested with this deck, Frieza does more on the long run. The more time he spends on the board, the more damage and mayhem he's gonna cause.
Yeah.
Compared like him, he's more. I believe he's more situational, but if you run with decks that have barriers, so he's a much better option than Frieza. But most of the time, if I have both of them in hand, I will go for Frieza.
Yeah, the Vegeta is going to be really good next format. Since we're going into a more slower pace, Premier Algo decks were chopped. So Vegeta is going to be fantastic. And plus, the next format, a cooler, is going to be will be relevant. So this card will be pretty good to clear off their unisons. So this card is going to be a monster next format. It's going to clear off their board. Minus 10k, and dual attack is just it's such a great. Dual attack is such a great keyword skill against unisons.
For my favorite card in the deck, and
the worst
card in the deck, I'll admit it, but it's my favorite card.
Yeah.
2. Most of the time, you would have probably been combo fodder or charge. Cause again, same thing with Vegeta. He costs 2 energy, and I have to combo 2 battle cards, and a lot of times I don't want to go spend cards in my hand and 2 energy just for nothing, and to put me in a bad place. So 2,
the best card of the deck.
Best card of the deck, hands down.
This card makes the deck, I'm telling you.
It's stupid that you can. He works on your turn as well. But most cards like Bandai, most cards that they printed that are like this, usually only works on the opponent's turn. But no, I can in my turn pay 1 energy and minus something in my turn as well, aside from doing it in their opponent's turn. But yeah,
we're not explaining too deeply the deck, because generally everybody knows what these cards do. But the fact that Goku draws you a card just makes it awesome. I know it has limit 1, but it doesn't really matter. The card just is, and plus you can do it on kind of winner 1 and then do kind of winner 2, Videl or Yamcha. That's just bonkers. That's I feel that's the main reason why U7 is so powerful, and that's why the Piccolo Unison was limited to 1, also because of Team Piccolo.
And for 17, obviously consistency. That's it. I only run 3 of the 1-drop. This is the card that I like the least amount in this deck or archetype. Yeah, if he's a body, if you mill him, but sometimes, he only draws when you play him from hand, and he's just simply a 5k body in your, or you can combo off. But most of the time, even if I mill him, I will burst. I'll just keep him in there, because I don't want to run the risk of milling a non-U7 and be a minus in the board.
Yeah, he's just a name. That's about it.
He's just a name. That's it. No importance. 4 super combo, searchable, and pretty obvious. We don't have to explain about that. 2 Goku for barrier hate and potential board wipe against decks that like to spam weenies.
And just a name also.
And also a name. And now for the difference between our deck is the scaleless package. So I really like it compared to like the non-scaleless version from what I seen. I don't think one or the other is better. I just like this one more because I have more names and I have an extra searcher, and that could potentially give me a +1 if I use this. This makes playing the Divine Presence a lot better, because I won't neg if I ever decide to commit to him.
Which you don't, really.
And even then, there are better lines of playing.
In testing, and I've used this deck when I went to locals and got second place. Never came up the Divine Presence, but the skills package was fantastic. It's just I know you run only 4, but it's also names and
they're names, and since you don't run cards that could play them off from the drop area, and you're just gonna use them for combo fodder.
Exactly.
Either way, it's very rare that you're gonna pay 2 energy to play this or use a card that could play this for free. And that's why I will run a 5th one.
Yeah, I would too.
I will run a 5th one personally, but 4 is just fine.
Yeah. Only one of the Android 18 and 17 because just deck space.
Deck space, and also they're very niche interaction. They require you to have skills and drop in the combo area for you to do proc their auto. And you're not gonna pay their energy cost to play.
Yeah, exactly. We will change the deck for the next format. We're gonna play. I think I'm gonna change a little bit. Play the 18 promo. There's also a Gohan promo that looks pretty good. We're gonna test that out. This deck is gonna change a lot for the next format, especially with the new cards coming out.
Not for the generic red staples. This is the Unison package.
Flip them over.
Now for the Unison package. Some people run Jiren. I personally prefer to run Sin, cause I can snipe. Example, like in games like against Yellow, I can snipe their Robotic Propose or their Steadfast Defender. Also, he helps maintain the board pretty clear with his +1 and his permanent. Also against the Sin Shenron matchup, if I find a way to blow up their 9 drop and they play the ball, I can just swing with this and force them to negate, basically. Because unless the opponent is very, I was gonna say, brave and try to out combo and defend the 1 drop, but yeah. That's basically why, and we only have 3 because we only own 3.
Yeah, we only own 3, but we're gonna get the 4th one. But
eventually we'll get the 4th one, but right now this is fine.
Yeah, Videl is a monster. The card is just broken, so great. Sin is fantastic. He's overperformed. I know Jiren can be a little bit better in a lot of interactions, but Sin has done wonders for me in testing and got me so far in tournaments that I shouldn't have won. But just the card does so much for you, and especially just minusing cards and just
the applying pressure too, because
yeah,
Jiren can be a 20k double strike pressure every single turn, and plus that this minus doing the activate battle with -25 in there, which is pretty good as well. It helps you in the pinch if your opponent's gonna try to push the game. You can kill them right there before they can go into combo phase. But yeah, that's the Unison package that we run. One Realm of the Gods. It's a 10k basically. It's very niche. It's gonna be combo. It's gonna be just either combo, energy, fodder, and go to the drop area. It's not necessary. You can run the deck without this.
Yeah, it's just there for the Sin matchup, really.
Yeah,
mainly for that.
Or the Dark Broly matchup.
Yeah.
Any rogues that like to spam big boss
yeah,
monsters.
Mostly for
as a Sport Vegeta, stuff like that, blue. But yeah, like a lot of the times in the sideboard situation, this probably comes out most of the time.
Yeah.
The Robotic Propose Killer.
Yes.
This should have been on the Unison package, but
yeah, but we all know what it does.
Yeah. That one broken, justifiably.
Yep.
Only one testing. Mainly because we want to maximize the amount of names that we have, and since we want to awaken on a high life total, so running multiple copies of this is detrimental to consistency, and we mainly gonna play it more of a mid-range style instead of going gas aggro and just trying to, end the game as quickly as possible. Though the deck, it is capable of doing it, but yeah, that's mainly why we want run. Also, since we're in negates, 4 best card in the deck.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, against the meme deck, this is the card that probably will get the win against that match.
Yeah, the Goku.
Crimson Goku Kaioken turn 3 kill deck.
Yeah.
But also most decks, if your opponent's pushing you, example, with a secret rare, will get you out of the pitch.
Yeah, and reason why testing op is not that great right now, or any of the counter blocker negates are gonna slowly die down a little bit now, because since aggro is not that prominent, you really don't need them as much. In the long game, they will benefit you, but in this deck, you don't need to, especially you're gonna awaken a high life total, and your opponent most likely is not gonna want you to get those cards in your hand and won't aggro you down early. He wants to control the pace of the game to there.
Also, since we're not blue, we have 0 energy manipulation.
Exactly.
And we're not gonna want to pay 2 energy. Only in a desperate situation. If we have the energy up. And for the last cards, Crown and Koitsukai. Blue and yellow, and same thing, basically. That's what they're for. No need to go further into that. So that's the deck we were running, 60 cards.
60, always 60.
Yeah, and I have a general policy that I always run 60 cards.
He does, not me. Alright, so we're gonna go to the side deck really quick. Not much explanation there, but
my second copy of Realm. Probably most matchups won't go in. 2 King Vegetas, mainly for aggro, and if I would end up playing against the meme deck, if there was any on that night, this probably also would have gone in. The blue hate package, no need to go further into explanation. 4 Jiren. This probably have been the most consistent card going switching into the main board most of the time. And obviously 4 fighting. Yeah,
it's for the meme deck. It's also because it's just aggro, just in case if you.
And decks that like to play 20k, well, decks that like to try to beat you with the Unisons as well. This is good as well.
Yeah, the reason why we run Jiren on the side deck is just Sin does a little bit more for us, and like personally speaking, not like general opinion. But Jiren does so much also for the deck. It's just so powerful. It always comes in and it comes in. You might ask, why don't you just mainboard it? Because Sin can do a lot for the deck, especially when you just minus 2 cards in the full.
I say Sin gives a lot of advantage game 1, and also it plays a bit of mind games because my opponent would expect me to play Sin on turn 3 at some, let's say, and when they see this, they go, oh, I expected Sin.
And that pressures them to play a little bit more careful. So the point of this deck is just control the pace.
So Sin controls the board and the hand, but he controls the pace. Because my opponent will be forced to play around that auto, too.
Yeah, the point of the way I play the deck is just control the pace to my way. Just control the matchup, beat them down with their resources, outgrind them. Because generally, you think this is a mill deck, you mill yourself out. I have never milled myself out in this deck. I was close to, but never mill myself. It's just, you can, if you play smart, you will get to a point that you don't need to mill anymore. And once you have 20 to 22 cards in the drop area, you won't mill anymore. You will just control the pace, aggro and down, control SCR. SCR will just win you the games a lot of times.
Also, against example, if they're would have played against any Janimbas too, this is very good.
Oh yeah, fantastic. So yeah, that's the profile. Thank you for watching, and I'm sorry if this is again a long video. We just like to go in details explaining everything, give our breakdowns, give our thoughts on everything. The next profile is gonna come out probably next week. We're gonna do Dark Broly. That's the one we talked about a lot, and we were already planning to. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons of the deck, and we're gonna make a post ban list and talk about the cards he also used before the ban list, so we're gonna talk about a little bit of that. And we're gonna be getting the cards when the new set comes out. We're gonna test the new cards and see what works, what doesn't. But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting format, and we're gonna see a lot of U7 soon. So thank you for watching. And any closing thoughts?
No, not really.
All right. Thank you, and hope you guys subscribe and like this video if you want more content. Tell me if you like the longer formats or the shorter formats. We'll change to make a great experience for you guys. Just keep supporting us, and have a great day.